Also, Disney factory faces probe into sweatshop suicide claims. And they're using child laborers there, reportedly. Well, why not? Apple does it. All these big companies do it. And then we compete against that. Of course, we can't compete against it, so we've been deindustrialized just where the globalists want us. Also coming up, we're going to get into Al-Qaeda. Kingpin is new military commander for Tripoli. It's official. And a lot more on the other side of this power-packed transmission. Stay with us. Well, we have set sail again across the airwaves worldwide on XM satellite, global shortwave, WWCR, streaming over the internet, #1 streamed internet program in the world in talk radio, according to shoutcast.com and other metrics, blasting out on the AM and FM dial. As well, it is Monday, the 29th day of August, 2011. Can you believe that 2011 has gotten so long in the tooth? Before we know it, 2012 would have come and gone, and, well, we'll still be here. Comets wouldn't have killed us. Planets out of deep space wouldn't have killed us. If we're not here, it'll probably be a bioweapon that's released or nuclear war, but I don't think that's going to happen either in the short term. But it always could. But here we are sitting now more than 2/3 of the way into 2011. Okay, I'm going to do something I don't customarily do. I'm going to open the phones up, or at least give the number out, right here at the start of this worldwide transmission. Now, I've got the news I'm going to cover, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about these issues I'm about to go over. But we're going to open the phones up, and we're going to take a lot of calls today. I've actually been doing a better job. And if you want to talk about Irene, the hurricane that really never was, and the way they're saying, oh, it's global warming, pay more taxes. If you want to get into Obama's uncle being arrested and held as an illegal immigrant, if you want to get into secret vaccine industry ties and military involvement, or if you want to get into sex offenders paid by the state of Chicago to babysit in government programs knowingly. Or if you want to talk about the ongoing hunt for Muammar Gaddafi and the fact that even mainstream media is being forced to admit that, yes, indeed, the leader of the rebels is a Al-Qaeda operative. We told you this months ago with Webster Tarpley and others that came out in the LA Times, Associated Press, but now it is absolutely confirmed. And the rebels are refusing to hand over the reported bomber of the Lockerbie, Scotland aircraft. Now, whether you think that they really did that or not, the point is this just shows you exactly who these people are, even though the West has asked for them to be handed back over because they said, he's terminal cancer, he's going to die in 1 month, give him back to Libya. And so they did, and the guy's alive, 2-3 years later. But that just illustrates what we're facing here. Also, I've got some other news I want to go over. Obama invokes September 11th attacks in call for service, Reuters reports. He talked about the firefighters and police and others that valiantly helped on 9/11 and called for Americans to, quote, serve. But the police, the military, the firefighters, the medics who are actual victims, they're not allowed at the 10th anniversary. They're not allowed there. So there he is using them to look like a hero himself, but barring them. Also, Mexican staged drug raids inside the U.S. You heard me right. The New York Times even admits this. Kurt Nimmo has an excellent article breaking it down. They don't just allow Mexican police inside the U.S. for raids, but Mexican military commandos have, quote, discreetly traveled to the United States, I told you this years ago, assembled at designated areas and dispatched helicopter missions back across the border aimed at suspected drug traffickers. The DEA is providing logistical support and sharing intelligence. This is part of the North American Union SPP deal, Security Prosperity Partnership, to use Canadian, Mexican troops inside the U.S. for any reason, including crowd control, anti-terror, drug raids, civil emergencies, disasters. And people keep reporting 3, 4, 5 years ago about Mexican helicopters landing, burning buildings, shooting people. I've had sheriffs on from South Texas that have been 3 miles over the border. And Mexican troops pull up on the highway in Humvees, aim machine guns at them and say, give us that marijuana or cocaine. you just confiscated. One case, the sheriffs had a dump truck full of marijuana that they'd picked up on the U.S. side. Mexican troops came across, put the guns on them. Loudspeakers said, get away from the vehicle. Mexican troops got in the vehicle, drove it away. And they go to the federal government and say, do something about this. And the feds go, you don't understand, do you? What's really going on here is that this is a U.S. government big bank-backed system openly knocking out the other cartels that aren't laundering their money through the big Western banks. That's what's going on here. And it's all part of destroying our sovereignty. During NLEO 9 and NLEO 10 national level exercise carried out by FEMA, FEMA's own press release admitted intelligence services and troops from 14 different countries take part in, quote, taking on domestic terrorists here in the United States. Also, burglar's family awarded $300,000 in wrongful death suit. This is out of El Paso, Texas. And the family business had been robbed repeatedly. A family business had been robbed repeatedly, so the family stayed up late and stayed in the business. And when the armed, admitted methamphetamine addicts, it's all here in the article, came in, they shot one of them who was armed, and the jury has ruled that, and I'm seeing more and more of this, that they are civilly liable. My friends, there's a castle doctrine. You can shoot someone if they come in your house and break in, period, day or night. If it's nighttime, you can shoot somebody in your yard. Now, if it's found that you lured them in and it was a murder, that's a different story. But if it's a criminal with a criminal record and there's been other burglaries, you're going to get no billed by the grand jury, even if it's in your yard. And we see cases of this all over the country where people have been robbed over and over and over again. So they leave their garage door open. It was just a Texas case a few months ago. And they sit there like they're deer hunting. And when the person comes in to steal their bicycle again, they shoot them and they kill them. And when you have that type of activity, you have much lower crime rates. There's a reason Chicago, New York, and other areas have the highest crime rates in the United States, because they're victim disarmament zones. The muggings in England are off the charts compared to the United States. The muggings are going on. That's why muggers generally target women in the U.S., because statistically they're not armed as much as men and can't fight back. But more and more they're not mugging women because women are going out getting concealed carries or just carrying firearms. I know my two girls will have concealed carry and they will carry firearms when they move out of the house. And they are, well, the 7-year-old is already very, very accurate with a rifle and a handgun. And so that's the bottom line. True feminism is to empower your girls and your boys, not to teach them to be little helpless people. But let me just cover this article first, because it goes to the heart of everything that we're facing as a society. This is out of the Gazette, Colorado Springs. Burglar's family awarded $300,000 in wrongful death suit. This is actually El Paso County, so this is in Colorado. It's in El Paso, Texas. On Friday, awarded nearly $300,000 to the daughter of a burglar who was fatally shot in 2009 while breaking into an auto lot. Parents of the victim, Robert Johnson Fox, embraced their attorneys after a judge announced the jury's verdict, capping a 2-week-long civil trial in which business owner Jovan Milovac and his 2 relatives were painted as vigilantes who plotted a deadly ambush rather than let authorities. How do cops have the authority to shoot somebody if they feel threatened? Because they've been given arrest powers by the citizens. They've been hired by the incorporated city or empowered by the legislature at the county level. Philip and Sue Fox, who filed suit for the wrongful death in 2010 on behalf of Fox's 3-year-old daughter, called the jury's award a victory in their fight to seek accountability for the death of their son, who they say never posed a threat to the heavily armed men. And again, they broke in through a tall barbed wire fence. Rob was in the wrong place at the and doing the wrong thing. But the punishment didn't fit the crime. Sue Fox said afterward, you ever been the victim of a home invasion? You ever had armed people breaking in? I can't excuse his actions, but he didn't deserve to be executed. Well, it's at night and you're breaking into a facility. The exact amount awarded was $269,500 for factors such as loss of companionship and loss of future earnings. What, from robbing places? The family will also be awarded some of the costs associated with the more than year-long legal battle. Now, I don't think the punishment fit the crime, but still, it's a castle right, an ancient freeholder right, Magna Carta 1215 right, that if somebody comes on your land, especially at night, you can kill them. People should know this. You should know this, especially if no trespassing signs are posted, and they were. The jury of 3 men and 3 women deliberated for 2.5 days over closely contested testimony about the pre-dawn shooting on April 19th, 2009. Fox, 20, was shot after he and a friend scaled a fence to get inside Southwest Auto Sales in the city's Nob Hill neighborhood. According to the accomplice, Brian Corbin, they had smoked methamphetamine and were looking to steal anything to buy more drugs. Corbin testified he saw 2 armed men charging out of a building and run in the direction. One of them shouting, "We're going to get you," in an obscenity-laced threat. Corbin, who escaped by climbing over a car and jumping the fence as he felt a bullet pass by him as someone fired 4 gunshots. Fox was standing inside a small shed when a .45 caliber bullet passed through the shed's door and pierced his heart. Police said, 145-page investigative report, that the intruder had knives in his pockets and one strapped to his ankle, but never posed a threat to the other men. The men are refugees, United States from former Yugoslavia in '98. And they went on to say to the jury that it was willful, deliberate conduct of them to shoot him. And it just goes on. So there you go. And soon it'll be like England, where when you're being stabbed in your house, if you fight back, you go to prison. The government wants you trained. You're not allowed to defend yourself or your property.
You don't need me to tell you that humanity is in a deep crisis. Everyone can feel it. We know a tectonic struggle is now taking place between the forces of freedom and those who love darkness, bondage, and enslavement. Yes, my friends, evil is rising. But take heart. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Recently, New World Order operative Hillary Clinton admitted they're losing the info war.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
The globalists are scared. They've overreached. The future of the info war is in your hands. Join PrisonPlanet.tv. Download the thousands of special video reports, ebooks, and more, and get them out to everyone you know. Continue to spread the word about the broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and every other globalist propaganda platform. We are going to use their system against them. The info war now goes into high gear.